Okay, time to set up showing time. So if you've gotten this far, that means you've got a listing agreement signed, listing is active in Bright, and you're ready to start showing. So congratulations on getting this far with your new listing. So once you've gotten to this point and your listing is published within Bright, and make sure that it's active, at this point the property will automatically go over into showing time, and all you need to do is wait for that to happen and then log into ShowingTime and set up the instructions. So I just want to harp on the point that it can take 30 minutes or maybe even a little bit more in order for your listing to go from Bright and into ShowingTime. In the interim, you may have an agent or two that reach out to you trying to schedule a showing and saying, hey, I'm clicking on ShowingTime and it's saying that I can't schedule a showing. You just hang on to their name, text them, let them know as soon as I'm done putting it in ShowingTime, I'll let you know, and then you can schedule it. Or you can actually just take their name and plug it into ShowingTime and schedule the showing on their behalf on your listing for them. So once we get this far and we're ready to set up ShowingTime, we're going to open up a new tab. Within ShowingTime on the left side, after you log in here, you're going to click on Listings. If your listing is not showing up here, you need to just wait and keep refreshing until it comes up here. It will come up. If it doesn't come up, you got to call ShowingTime to help with that. So I'm going to click on the new listing, and we're just going to set this up for showings. So there's two main ways that people want to set homes up for showings: vacant homes and homes where the seller's still living in. So vacant homes, it's typically going to be set up as a go and show. Nobody needs to approve it. Some agent from any company, Weichert, Remax, Keller Williams, whatever, goes to schedule a showing. They're automatically confirmed. You don't have to approve it. The seller doesn't have to approve it because nobody's living there. And all that you are going to get is an FYI to say, hey, want to let you know, ShowingTime is notifying you, hey, just got a listing or an appointment scheduled on your listing from tomorrow from 2 to 3 with Cindy Williams from Weichert. So I'm going to go through how to set that one up first for a vacant listing. So if it's a vacant listing like a rehab or an estate sale, you're going to allow all of this. Come down here and we're going to change the appointment type to go and show. And you're probably familiar with that. These are the 5 designations for how you can set your listing up. The 2 most common are go and show and appointment required. So we're going to do go and show, and you can see that this just changed because now we're just notifying of confirmed or canceled appointments. We're not actually approving or denying them. So I'm going to click on no for is the property occupied, and I want to add an owner because my seller would like to be notified when there are showings. So it's very easy to do. Click on add owner occupant. You can add a new person here if they aren't in your contacts. Mine is, so this might give me a hard time. I'm going to try anyway. He's an owner, not an occupant. You want to put their mobile phone in here because most people want to be notified by text. Let's get his mobile phone, enter it in here, and that's it. And make sure this is checked off, used for text messages, and their email, so that way they can get a text and an email every time a showing is scheduled. I'm going to click save. Perfect. So we're going to notify Craig and myself of confirmed or canceled appointments via text and email. I can turn push on because I have the app downloaded on my phone. So I'm going to turn that on for me. I know it's kind of a lot. I like to get it. I like to see it everywhere. It's a good problem to have when you have lots of messages coming in because you have showings being scheduled. But you are welcome to turn any of these on or off as you see fit. So that's essentially it for your contacts portion of this. I'm going to show now how we would do this if it was occupied. So if it was occupied by that owner, I'm going to switch this to appointment required. And in this scenario here, we've got one owner. I'm welcome to add another owner, and I'm going to actually do that. And I'm just going to put a new one in. I'm just going to put my wife's name in here just because I don't know an easier way to do this. So we're going to say she's an owner and an occupant, and her mobile phone is 74, and we're going to say email. And we can hit save. So this is a common scenario where you've got 2 owners and 1 agent on a property. So in this setting here, we're going to look and see what we've got. So by default, in order to confirm appointments, this is very important. If you could see my face, I'd be looking into the camera. In order to confirm appointments, the seller can confirm via text, via email, or via phone, meaning he's going to get a call every single time a showing is scheduled. We want to make sure we uncheck that. Okay? Same thing for confirmed and canceled appointments. We do not want our sellers getting 50 calls a day from ShowingTime. It's overwhelming. I can't believe that by default this isn't turned off. And you can do that in your settings, but it's a hassle, and you can see mine still aren't changed. So just uncheck the calls so they don't get calls. So in this, what I just set up is that Jessica can confirm appointments via text or email, and she'll also be notified of the confirmed appointments via text and email after she approves or denies them. That way she's still got a record of it. Now we're going to go to the second owner, Craig. So this is, again, common scenario. I always tell people only one person should be approving or declining showings, because if you have two people doing it, you often forget what's going on. So have one person be designated to be in charge. Whoever the person is that is in charge for approving showings is this person here who can confirm appointments. Everybody else should just get an FYI. So if we just do an FYI, that means that he cannot confirm appointments. He can only get an FYI, and we'll send that to him. And this is saying, now remember, this is saying for new appointments that are being scheduled, he's going to get an FYI. Craig's going to get an FYI. Hey, Mary Beth wants to schedule a showing for tomorrow between 2 and 3. He then cannot approve it or deny it. He's just getting an FYI. And I promise you it just works better that way most of the time. If you come over into here, we can see that he's also going to get notified when that appointment is confirmed or canceled. So we want to make sure that when he is notified that a showing was requested, and then once Jessica approves it or denies it, we also want him to see the result of that. So we're going to just turn auto call off and leave it with text and email. Then here is you, the agent, and I usually let myself FYI, because I can come in here and do it later to approve or deny it if something is confused or something like weird happened. So I would like to just leave this here just like this. Now you as the agent are welcome to confirm or deny appointments on behalf of your sellers. You can absolutely set it like this, and when you get a text that Mary Beth wants to schedule that showing tomorrow, you can just ignore the text. You don't have to do anything. You can just ignore it. Wait for Jessica to approve it. But you can absolutely set it like this if it's easier for your situation, if you want to have a little bit more control, where you can confirm or decline an appointment. So I'm going to leave it as send FYI. I just want to get a text and an email and a push notification every time an agent tries to schedule a showing. And then I want to get another notification once it's approved. That way I have a good record of all of the showings that are going to be taking place on the property. Now, in this market, there are a lot of showings that get scheduled. It goes without saying, you can come back into here and you can very easily just see all of the showings that you have in your listing activity. There's a bunch of different ways to see. Just come in here and play around with it, and you can see all of the showings that are scheduled on your listing. So I'm going to take 1 second to go back to when I said that, let's say an agent calls you and they don't know how to use ShowingTime, or they don't know how to schedule it, or whatever. If you come into your listing in ShowingTime, you can click on New Showing Request right here, and you can just type their name in there and schedule the showing on their behalf. That way, it'll still go through ShowingTime. Jessica will still have to approve it, and you don't have to call your seller and then write this somewhere on a calendar and paper and forget that they're going over there tomorrow at 3 o'clock because they didn't do it through ShowingTime. So my advice, again, is if an agent is unable to use ShowingTime, figure out what the issue is and then schedule it on their behalf through ShowingTime, or have them go ahead and schedule it once the issue's been corrected. So moving on here, because this part here is the same either way, whether you do go and show or whether you do an owner occupied with appointment required. This part here is the same. So I always allow inspections and appraisals, because once we're pending, you'll see that the appraiser actually will often schedule the appraisal through ShowingTime, which is a nice feature. That way the seller can still approve it. So I'm going to do advance notice. Typically, we're doing 1 hour to 2 hour lead time, and we can edit this right here. So if you look at advance notice, again, take this slow. I'm talking kind of fast. Read through each of these things. It's just, think about this. At the end of the day, it's a simple concept. We're just trying to create a system here for agents to be able to schedule showings on your listing. So for advance notice, you can do no same-day appointments. Let's say you have a tenant and the lease requires 24-hour notice. You can certainly check that off and force all showings to be scheduled the next day. So you've seen this, I've seen this, when you go in to schedule a showing and it's all blacked out on the day that you're on and it's forcing you to schedule it tomorrow. That's what this button does. That's how that happens. But typically, we're going to just do a lead time, and we're going to require, for our seller who works from home, right, we're going to require 2 hours of lead time. So that way, they have enough time to get themselves out of the house, get the house ready for the showing. So if an agent comes on to ShowingTime at 10 a.m. and wants to schedule a showing at this listing, the earliest that ShowingTime will allow him to schedule a showing is 12 p.m. The next step here is maximum appointment length. We definitely want to shrink this down to 30 minutes, okay? Don't let this be 2 hours, because agents will schedule a 2-hour window to let them show up there whenever. I mean, if it's vacant, it doesn't really matter, but appointment length should be 30 minutes. Allow overlaps. The default is no because of COVID, so I generally just leave it like that. And that's it for general information there. So next is the showing rules. This is only necessary on properties that are occupied or properties where you need to restrict showings for a certain reason. This is for restricting showings. This is what this button does. So I'll show you what I mean. Let's say for this listing, the seller works night shifts and they sleep in until 1 o'clock every afternoon. So we only want showings to start after 1 o'clock and we want them to end at 7 o'clock at night. So we're going to click on Add Showing Rule. We need to make the first rule here. So rule type, again, restriction. This is us restricting showings. The rule reason is you can put anything you want here, but you have to put something here. I usually just put no showings, works night shift. I usually just put whatever the situation is here, or just showings begin at 10 a.m. You know, if you're going to just say showings start at 10. Okay? Because the agent that's trying to schedule, and when it's blacked out, they can see that. So we're going to make this either a timed rule or an all-day rule. So for all-day rule, that would be if, you know, you're blocking showings out for an entire day. For a timed rule, that's what this is. Works the night shift. We're going to start it in the morning, and we're going to end it, like I said, at 1 p.m. And we're going to have this rule repeat every day, starting today and ending sometime in the future. And the rule will occur my seller only works on the weekdays. So we're going to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, save. So I just added a rule, and just want to make sure I confirm. Okay. I just added a rule here, showing restrictions, starts this date, ends that date, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, can't schedule a showing. That's how you add a rule. You could do the same thing and add another rule right now in order to stop showings after 7 o'clock at night. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to delete this now. All right, the next thing is the access details. This gate code is blank unless there's a gate. If you have a listing where it's gated entrance, then you would put a gate code in here. Not super common around here, but congrats to you if you've got a home with a private gate. We are going to select this. This is important. How does the agent access the home? Typically, it's a combination. So we're going to click on combination. If there's an alarm, we definitely want to make sure we note that you can put the alarm details in here. All right. I usually tell sellers to just leave the alarm off, though. It's not worth the headache. I have, and you will set alarms off in your career, and it's never fun. So the agent can access the home with a combination, and we're going to type in our combination here, and the location, and access notes. Please use the access notes because agents will see this. It's likely that they'll actually see this, like take shoes off or wear mask. Or in the case of weird listings, you could say something like, lockbox is on front railing, park on side street, and walk around to front of property to open door. Lots of different reasons that you could use this to explain how the agent can access the property. Your entire goal here is to not get calls from agents. Everything that I'm doing in here is to make it so that I am not getting a call from an agent that is not able to get into this property. And then you can type in here, again, I just copy this. So the appointment staff at ShowingTime sees this. So if an agent has an issue, they theoretically can call ShowingTime and ask for questions. This is literally just pulled right from Bright MLS, from the agent remarks. You can also add this in here. Okay, for the showing agent, you get these notes when you schedule a showing, so you can add whatever you want in here. Another common thing that you might put in here and in here is owner occupied. Please respect your appointment time. Something like that, so that you hope the agents will show up on time and not be late, or at least they'll know, okay, oh yeah, it's occupied, I better be on time. That's essentially it. Once you're done with that, you can just click Save Changes. At this point, you're finally done. You can go back into Bright, go into your listing, and you can schedule a showing, or go in the app, schedule a test showing. That's usually what I do. Make sure your seller gets that text message to confirm the appointment, and that's it. You should be good to go. And I actually would like to finalize this video by saying, if you have trouble with any of this, you can call ShowingTime. I don't think it's 24 hours, but it's pretty close to it. You can call ShowingTime at any time. They can do all of this from their side. You can have them help you with this or fix it for you. I think that it's just easier to do it that way. When I have issues, that's what I do, because it only takes a minute. They pick right up and they'll make the changes for you.